So I recommend that you try to become the customer. Stop listening to the customer so much as become them and understand as deeply as you can what they're doing today, what they're experiencing today, and try to infer from that creatively what might be a much better experience for them, given what they care about, not what you care about, given what they care about, but not as a definition of what they say, here's what you should do. Don't rely on them telling you what they want. Rely on them telling you what they've been doing and how they do it. And if that's a business that you're analyzing, that can be days and days of analysis, and you may be analyzing several years, certainly months, in the life of that business and trying to understand all the processes and say, where are processes happening that are imperfect, where there's even potentially some connection, even if indirect, to what we might be able to do to improve those experiences. So we have a methodology that we think is pretty commonsensical and that we've worked on for a long time. It's pretty systematic. The basic principles of it say, imagine that what you're doing is making a video of day in the life of the customer. You may not literally use video camera, although that can actually work in some cases, but I mean this more as an image. Go in and capture what happens today. What's video one? What happens? Not what do they want, not even so much their complaints, not what they think about your company or your competition, but what happens. And try to figure out what's suboptimal, what's imperfect, given what they're trying to accomplish, what are lost opportunities, inefficiencies, some of which they may be screamingly aware of, some of which they may be totally oblivious to, but which you can observe and say, given that they're trying to get from A to B in as little time as possible, they don't realize how much time they're losing by doing steps X, Y, and Z, but they've always done steps X, Y, and Z, and so they think that everything's great. In fact, they're better than their competitors at doing X, Y, and Z. So they're totally invested in X, Y, and Z, and X, Y, and Z may be dumb. You have to be able to look at that and say, is there an opportunity there to get them to a fundamentally better result? Think like a 12-year-old. A 12-year-old is old enough to see reality, old enough to see that the king riding down the street is actually bare naked, and to say so, while everybody else has got their graduate degree and has learned the 10 corporate dictates of what we can and can't do around here, is very impressed by the emperor's new clothes. The 12-year-old is old enough to see reality and yet be kind of blunt and simplistic and naive. Try to get yourself into that state of mind. Be a little less sophisticated. Be a little more simple. Look at video one and say, what's wrong with that? What would it look like if it was much better? And I don't have to go invest the whole company on that video two on day one, but try to think through creatively how much better could it be in a way that we might make happen. That's video two. What's that improved scenario, that set of better resulting experiences? And then you need to think about the competition before you run off and build a business on that better improved scenario. Go back and think, yeah, but what is the competition actually making happen? What are they really offering? What does the customer really get if they do business with the competition? And how well could the competition or competing alternatives imitate our video two? If they see it in day one, can they do it at a lower price and we have one day of competitive advantage? Or is there something more sustainable here?